Здравейте, приятели! Днешният епизод на подкаста по мъжки ще бъде малко по-различен, защото моят гост е човек, който не среща всеки ден на улицата. Кришна Прем живее дълги години в ресорта на Ошо в Индия, където се е посветил на медитация и самоусъвършенстване. Поводът да бъде тук в България, откъдето да имам възможността да го поканя за мой гост, е уъркшопът, който проведе с Ma Prem Padmini, Росица Ненкова, Тантра и медитации в София. Понеже Кришна е личност, която лично аз не мога да обхвана с думите си, вие бихте могли да достигнете до него чрез неговите книги, за които ще оставя линк в описанието. Понеже, както се досещате, Кришна не говори български, ще проведем разговор на английски. Приятно гледане! Hi, Krishna.
Hi.
How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. I can't believe it. This is happening right now, and I'm very, very grateful and very happy to have you in my podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for.
Great to hear.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Not everybody feels that good about me, but this is
It's very funny because the few days that I was with you in your workshop with Ma Prem Padmini and you about Tantra and meditation here in Sofia, it happens a lot of things with me, and your concept about who am I, who am you, every one of us, it's blown my mind. And right now, I don't know who am I.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit strange because I wanted to ask you about some roles that we play in our lives, and especially the roles of men, because in this life I'm a man.
Yeah.
And now I don't know what to ask you.
Well, you know, for me, the truth is not you or me, it's you and me. You know?
Yeah.
The word "and" for me is the most important word in every language, because the word "or" means we're separate.
Yeah.
It means we're fighting. The word "and" means that we're one, which often includes fighting. You know, as men fight, but we should fight to find out who we are, not to win. You know, when we have a disagreement, when we have a question, the answer is not who won. The answer is who understands, who gets the joke, you know? So for me, there's things I like about you, but because you're wondering who you are, you don't even know what you like about yourself, you know? But the truth of the matter is that you have qualities that I would love to have. And I have qualities for sure that would improve your life. So it's about sharing. It's about caring. It's about playing. And it's about enjoying. All of these things we were not taught in high school. You know, we were not taught by our parents. We were taught to defend ourselves and to compete. And for me, winning is for us to enjoy, have a beer together. You know, I always call it beer, B-E-E-R, beer here now, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and it's better to say be here now, but because we're boys and we're brought up to compete, I often think maybe a beer would break that moment into enjoying, you know.
Yeah.
Very, very simple. Very, very simple. It's not easy being alive. And then when you combine not being easy to be alive with having male conditioning, you're already having big problems. So for me, it's about how can we be naked together? How can we be vulnerable together? how can we say, wow, you have something to share with me. The more I share with you, you'll find out there's lots you can share with me, because we're melting away that competition that we were born with, you know.
Yeah. I think it's happened this night with me.
Yeah.
After.
And then it makes you feel vulnerable. Actually, you end up, when you meet yourself through meditation, through Tantra, you actually, the first thought is, I'm not worthy. You actually, all those things you brought into the room that were protecting you, as they fall away, instead of feeling good, you actually, for a moment, feel bad. But if you have the courage to breathe into, I'm learning something new and I'm thankful, then you become stronger. You become stronger. You know, really, my whole life is about that we are one existence appearing as two friends. When we talk, because boys tend to be in their minds, when we talk, we end up thinking this is the truth. But for me, the truth is to fall into my heart, actually risking falling into my hara, my belly, you know?
Yeah.
Not knowing anything at all, and then rebuilding myself by coming up through the empty heart into no mind, into saying, I love you. You know, it's very few times how many men say, I love you and mean it.
Yeah.
Usually when you say to somebody, I love you, you're really saying, I want something from you. You know, the love I'm talking about is unconditional, you know, unconditional. Sometimes, you know, you know, I'm not talking about leaving this room in an hour and being unconditional love and acceptance, but I'm saying I want our friends watching this podcast to take a few minutes out of every day and say, it's worth being alive, it's worth being in love, and it's worth the mystery. You know, life is not a problem to be solved. For me, life is a mystery to be lived, to be experienced. So it's a whole different game. Meditation is a whole different game. Having said that, you still need to pay the rent. So I believe in not knowing, asking myself what I want, what I would like to be. And by the way, there's money in what you want and who you want to be, because then you become a specialist, you know? You become your own specialist that other people might want to hire. So for me, yes, meditation is important, but it's only half the game. The other half is your experience of life, which is a job, which is paying the rent. So if you just meditate, it's difficult to pay the rent. If you just pay the rent, it's difficult to be in love. How do you combine the two? And for me, you combine the two by letting go of that ego that's been protecting you and saving your ass, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not worth anything unless you actually are coming from your heart. So we have to say to our ego, thank you so much for taking care of me. But now, trust a little, take a moment off. I'll call you when I need you, you know? Because sometimes you need an ego to defend yourself in the world, but you need to be aware. When do I need my ego, and when can I relax?
Yeah.
If you can relax, it's great to have an ego. If you can't relax, the worst thing in the world is having an ego. It just screws you from the moment you got up to the moment you go to bed. You know, I don't know how to say it, but I love ego if I can watch that ego. And when you can watch that ego, that's the definition of meditation. Meditation means be aware. Once you're aware, the ego disappears. Then you screw up, you know, you meet a cute girl, you get your ego back, you comb your hair. Then it's fine to have an ego, but then watch say, thank you, I can take care of myself now. So life is such a fabulous game, 24 hours a day. It's such a game. You never know anything, and yet you're here. So why not enjoy it?
Yeah.
You know, maybe. I don't know. Not sure. I'm ready to change if you guys have a better idea. I haven't met a better idea than watching myself, you know, watching myself. And even in sport, we call it the zone. I don't know if you've ever been a runner, but after 6 kilometers, effort, I tried so hard for 6 kilometers. Yeah. All of a sudden, your body is running by itself. You've reached that point where your body said, okay, I can now run without you. And you literally can sit on your own shoulder and watch your body run. And that's what we call the zone. You know, every athlete has bumped into the zone, and it's ecstasy. It is so much fun to try so hard that you give up and relax. See, you cannot relax without trying. You know, these people always saying to me, relax, relax. It doesn't work. What works is I go for it. I go for it. And then I trust. And it's so much fun. I mean, every athlete knows, every lover knows, you know, you're making love, and all of a sudden your body just relaxes. It's so much fun. So in the East, we call this effortless effort. We tried so hard, you know, and now we can just relax. So part of learning is you try so hard, and then you relax, but you can't stop there. You keep going, and then if you see another mountain, you try so hard, and then you relax. So don't give up before you bump into who you are. In other words, you try, you bump into relaxation. Keep going, try again, bump into relaxation. Eventually relaxation becomes what we call let go, and you can just laugh at yourself all day long. The more you can laugh at yourself, the less effort you'll have to apply tomorrow. You know, if you don't learn to laugh at yourself, you'll always just be trying and satisfying your wife and satisfying your boss, and never, ever. When do you satisfy yourself? You satisfy yourself when you begin to laugh at your wife, when you begin to laugh at your boss, and when you begin to laugh at yourself. It can be, I know I'm crazy, but it's fun. It's fun to be existence appearing as a man. You know, I'm a crazy person. You shouldn't have had me for a podcast, because what I believe in is that I am existence first, appearing as a man now. And my job is to enjoy, to be a man in whatever form that takes for me, you know, whether it be money, whether it be sport, whether it be women, I'm going to go for it, but I'm always going to laugh. And the universe is always playing jokes on us, you know, like you love women 4 times a minute, and women love men 4 times an hour, which means you're going to be chasing that woman your whole life. And the woman gets the joke. Why should I try? He's going to be chasing me. At one point, you chase so much, you give up, you stop, you relax. The woman says, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to come back and talk to him. So the more you chase, if you become aware, you'll give up chasing, and the woman will have a chance to chase you. And that's also more fun when the girl chases me. I like it more. I'm tired. I'm too old to chase women all my life. Let them chase me, those lazy shits. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. It's the best game I've ever played, and it's called life. You know. And I don't know any other games. Maybe there's another game coming, you know. But right now, I'm tired of listening to anyone else that doesn't love me. I'm tired of women not loving me and wanting me to chase them. I'm finished with everything. Let everything come to me and say, "Hi, how you doing today? I'd like to be with you. You're great." And that includes simple things like in Zen we say, "Eat when you're hungry." A lot of us eat when we're stressed.
Yeah.
And so you have to start. Sleep when you're tired, not because you can't face life. If you take a nap because you can't face life, you're just going to toss and turn. If you take a nap because you're exhausted, because you've been so alive, you're going to sleep like a baby. It's all written down. It's all very, very simple. Maybe not, but the courage to be simple. The courage to do what you want and to do it well. This is the contradiction. Everybody wants something, but can they do it well, Yeah. One of the compliments of life is to actually do something well. It really is a turn on. Whether it be art, whether it be real estate, it's if you do it well and you're doing it for yourself, and out of that is abundance, and out of that abundance, then you can share. Only share when you feel abundant, If you're lonely and you're upset and you see a woman, you say hi, I hope she doesn't say hi back, because she's going to be another uptight, unsatisfied woman. If you're feeling good and you're feeling juicy and you have too much food on your plate, you say, "Would you like to share?" That's what love is for me, sharing. You have to. So I always say to my friends, please, if you're in a good mood, go out and meet somebody. But if you want somebody to meet you and you're in a bad mood, woof, it's a recipe for disaster. Recipe for disaster. And sometimes that requires being lonely. You know what I mean? Like sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes loneliness will explode into aloneness. But you need some. It takes time. It takes courage. It takes delight. We're here. Why shouldn't we have a good time? Don't let anybody tell you, not to have a good time.
Yeah.
We didn't take love in high school. We have to learn it ourselves, I don't know. What did we learn in high school but how to take care of our physical bodies? Our parents from the very beginning are saying life is in the future,
Yeah.
Go to college, become a doctor. These doctors, they're over 30 years old before they're a doctor. They've wasted the most fun part of their life. They're exhausted. My God. Unless they want to be a doctor, then it's worth it. But so many people do what their parents say and took up becoming a doctor instead of becoming an artist. Listen to your parents a little bit, but they're scared, they're unenlightened, they're worried about you. So the great man says, thank you to my parents, but I got to kind of ask myself, what do I want? Why was I born? What turns me on?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I feel it very deeply, that thing that you say, and most of them just shining in my mind this morning before to meet with you.
Sure.
And
don't give me too much credit. I'm an asshole. Don't give me too much credit. Fire away.
It just happened. I don't know why. And
it's sweet. I am older than you. I have been around the block. I'm not saying I don't have anything to share with you, but you see, you've reached the age now where you've made your own mistakes, And so maybe you're about to do something right for the first time in your life. And it's scary, you know. It takes courage, you know. Probably puts you in debt, you know. But it's worth it. It's the only gain that's worth it is to follow your passion. And the beautiful thing is, a young man, you're following your passion. I followed my passion.
Yeah.
You know where it took me? It took me to compassion, you know. Loving women has brought me to love, you know. When I walk down the street now, I love women just as much as I did when I was in the game. But now I just laugh, and I say, I just call women the most beautiful trees I've ever met in my life, you know. And I try to give them the space to flower. Half of my effort is to give space now. I know how to love, but now I want to give space to love so that people can, in my presence, flower. It turns me on. It turns me on to see somebody that says to me, wow, being around you, I actually can be myself. I can actually grow up. I can tell you my fears. I can tell you my loves, you know. And it turns me on. It turns me on to when people trust me, you know. And that takes a while to reach, you know. You have to drop greed. You know, I don't want you to drop greed. I'm not talking about your age, but at my age, greed does me no good at all. No good at all. You know?
Yeah.
So it's quite a game. There's Shakespeare said all the world's a stage, and every 7 years we change, you know. So, you know, you're changing in a different way than I'm changing. So I look terrific to you today. Got a couple of bucks in his pocket, doesn't give a shit how he spends it and on who, you know what I mean? And you're saying, I agree with you, but I like that girl over there. I want to spend my money on that girl. And I laugh, you know, but I wouldn't want you not to feel that way. Because you have your own biology and it's moving, and I have my own biology and it's slowing down. For me, I'd rather be healthy than horny at my age, you know? And I'm just having fun, and I want you to have fun. My game would never be to sit on you, you know? If I felt like my happiness was making you sad, I would still be happy, but I would keep it to myself, you know? I want my love to wake up your love. I want my joy to wake up your joy. And it's like we're both candles, you know, and maybe today my candle is lit. You see the little flame, and you come closer, and all of a sudden, it jumps. The flame jumps to you. I can never light your candle. I can never wake you up, but I can show you that my level of awareness is a turn on for you. And as you approach me, you become aware. As you approach me, you become love. And that's what we can do for each other.
Yeah.
And it's my job also to say, I'm in such a bad mood today. Please don't come to me for awareness or love. I can't do it. So I'm just a little boy. I'm not a god or a master. But I'm not also going to put myself down anymore. You know, I'm quite a guy. I like you a lot. You have qualities that I would love to have. Maybe too late to pick them up, I don't know. But it's such a wonderful game, huh?
Yeah.
And you know, where existence appearing as two men, and now this woman enters the room where existence appearing as two men and a woman. And the women are different than us, you know? But they're part of the game too.
Yeah.
And so all I can say, and a message that I give, is that love, serve, and remember. We spoke about it all weekend. So when I love and I serve, I now remember that I came to this lifetime from silence. And from the silence comes noise. And if you remember to bring silence to that noise, it becomes music. You need to become, this life we all lead is like a cyclone. It's like madness, you know? But you have to bring your center to that cyclone. So when you're freaking out, if you can get centered, you can turn that freak out into music. It's amazing. And it happens every day in every way. But I don't want you to get in bed and figure that out. I want you to figure out while you're walking the streets, you know. Yeah. Too many people get in bed and figure it out, but they're dreaming. They're not in reality. Reality means only one thing. I figured it out today, how to be a light unto myself, how to bring joy to this chaos called downtown Bulgaria. My God, downtown. I love downtown Bulgaria, and it's very, very big. Yeah. It's 99% of your life, and then there's a point, and beside the point is 1%, and that's where I'm trying to teach that existence. That 1% is more valuable than the 99% called Bulgaria. That the God in me, if you'll forgive me, yeah, or the awareness in me, that 1% is more valuable than Bulgaria. So that little point is your ego. It's keeping you. You're voting. You voted on Bulgaria. Yeah. I voted on God. We both wasted our time. For me, when you breathe into that ego, that point, when you breathe into anything, it becomes spacious. You can, if you breathe into anything at all, you can see that it's not solid. So when I breathe into my ego, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I can take my meditation to work with me. And then life becomes so much fun. For me, if you have $50 million and 5 wives, and you don't learn to meditate, you will hit the wall so hard, you will not believe it. You will not believe it. You know, but if you can add meditation to your $50 million and your 5 wives, you're going to be happy, even if they're not happy. You know. Yeah. It's fun.
And it's strange because my question in my mind was about the meditation, because my opinion is, I don't know, maybe the women has some kind of natural way to relax and to
exactly.
But I'm like a man, it's not possible for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. Is the meditate is the answer?
No. You have to exhaust yourself. You have by accident, you can see from my body types, your energy is moving. And you actually like it, but you haven't learned to tame it. You haven't come to your center. So men are very much in their heads.
Yeah.
Not a problem, except it's exhausting until you fall in love. Then there's a little flow between thought and heart. Women live here, so they're already ahead of you. But the truth of the matter is, they're not healthy either until they learn to meditate. So I'm saying, cut off your own head, or I can do it for you. And then eventually you have to almost rip out your heart. And then you're in your belly, and then you rebuild yourself. And then the heart, in India we call it the empty heart. You know, in order to fall from your head to your heart, to your heart, you have to let go. Now when you come back, you're in the empty heart. It's such a beautiful space. So much more people can fit into your empty heart. So many more feelings. You know, it's joyous to be naked sometimes. And then when you come back into the head, we call that no mind. And no mind means all those thoughts that were rushing, they're still rushing, but now you can watch them saying, oh, you're hilarious. I can't believe how serious you take life. See, seriousness is the enemy of meditation. So when you come back into the empty heart, and it's a sweet feeling. You come into no mind where you're watching your thoughts. It's a sweet feeling. And then you can begin to relax. But don't put yourself down. Just look for how can I exhaust my energy in a creative way that's going to give me energy.
Yeah.
You don't want to spend all your energy without creating more energy. Like right now, and it's not just you, running around in circles. You need to look for the center of that circle. You need to look at, are you running around because your parents felt they wanted you to do more this lifetime, which they always do, Are you running around like a madman because you want to do more than is possible?
Yeah.
But sometimes that running around is picking up information so that you can relax. I would just watch what turns you on and act that way. Follow that path. Not the path that maybe you've been on, but the path that turns you on. In your case, I think you're in much better shape than you're mentioning to me. You see me and you go, oh, I'd rather be fat and ugly and relaxed. That's not who you are. You're a very vibrant man. And it's a turn on to women, but it's not a turn on for you because you're not thrilled with who you are. You need to look for joy so that women can come to you, you love women, but that's not enough. You need to also be yourself. Loving women is exhausting. Being yourself and loving women, that's a much more fun game.
Yeah.
Much more. Everybody likes it more. The women like it more. You like it more. So really, don't put yourself down, but start again right now, today. Boom. I am in the moment. I'm only going to do what turns me on. Not foolish things, but essential things. What's essentially going to turn you on? The world is not such a bad place, but what makes it bad is that you didn't bring yourself to the game. You let the game come to you. You need to bring yourself to the game. That's what, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. And you wonder, how old is your body now?
42?
Yeah, it's time. It's time. And the reason it's time is what you're bumping into without knowing it is, see, the body's releasing energy. And at 42, you find, you know for the very first time that you're vulnerable to death.
Yeah.
For the very first time, and when you find that out, you can get depressed, or again, you bring in awareness to it, because I'll be honest, you don't look 42, you don't act 42, you have many, many years to live. So even though you're aware of life, who cares? You want to be as courageous as possible. Let death be a surprise. You don't have to pay attention to death. It takes care of itself.
Yeah.
You need to pay attention to life, It's so much fun to do what you want, even for a few minutes a day, And we have to learn, with meditation adds time to your life, because instead of just being out here doing things, you're also inside watching. So once you watch yourself do, you have much more time on your hands. And once you have all that time in your hands, like 48 hours a day, where you're out here 24 hours a day and watching yourself 24 hours a day, you have a chance to bump into no time. Empty heart, no mind, no time. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. This morning I made some of meditation that you show us.
Really? Congratulations.
Yeah. But in my way.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in the bed and just start breathing. Breathe out, breathe in who am I, and breathe out the existence, or something like this.
Beautiful.
And I do it maybe for 2 hours.
2 hours? Wow, my gosh. That's more than I did it, you bad boy.
But I don't know what to do alone in my home at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I breathe.
Yeah, why not do it then? Why not do it then? And you'll be surprised. To be honest, we don't need as much sleep as we've been told.
Yeah, my friends with the cameras said you're very energetic.
I mean, these bullshit people that say we have to sleep for 8 hours. It's amazing. This is society is always saying to you 8 hours a day, because they don't have the courage to say just be yourself. Because my feeling is, again, your first 2 hours you get in bed, you're completing what you did wrong during the day.
Yeah.
You're tossing, you're turning. Why didn't she kiss me? Why didn't I make enough money? Who am I? You kill yourself, and then finally you're exhausted, because what you don't know is it's good. You toss, you turn, you become exhausted, you sleep. Once you fall asleep, for me, that's meditation. There's a tremendous similarity between meditation and sleep, but not the restless sleep.
Yeah.
But when you finally, your body says, my God, screw you, I'm exhausted, and you fall asleep, and for that 20-minute period, you're one with existence, and you might wake up in the morning not even knowing who you are until you walk in front of the mirror. And that's not a freak out, that's exciting, because existence doesn't look at you as a 165-year-old man from Bulgaria. It looks at you as life. Then again, every day you have to rebuild yourself. I'm a man from Bulgaria, and I'm going to go take care of, my job so that I can pay my rent as best I can. It's such a game to be one with existence. That's about 20 minutes of your life every day that all existence is asking you is, check in with me every day. And they don't mean do something. They mean be naked, vulnerable, go to sleep for a little while, go to sleep, and wake up refreshed. This 8 hours a day, we should shoot every doctor that says that. Oh, I don't want people to get violent or anything. Yeah. But I mean, all these things like you should be and you should do.
Yeah.
I mean, should isn't, really we should, unshould should.
Yeah.
Yeah, unshould should.
Yeah,
Find out who you are. You don't need 8 hours a day. Whoever, I hope you never sleep 8 hours a day. You don't need
No.
it. Yeah.
No, I sleep maybe 4 to 6 hours per night.
That's great. At my age too, and I try to take a power nap. Now, if I take a power nap for more than 20 minutes during the day, I haven't had a chance since I got to Bulgaria because I'm so busy, but when I'm back home, I take a power nap. If I sleep for an hour, that does affect my night. So a power nap, again, means try to plug into who I am. It's a different kind of plug. It's more from the physical. But it's very, you don't let anybody tell you, if the next time they tell you sleep 8 hours a day, you just go check, I don't need to talk to that person anymore. Because he's a robot giving you information. I hate to say it, there was that great film, that blue pill, red pill, I can't remember the name of the film.
The Matrix.
It had so much truth in it, you know what I mean? And so many people are saying, you have no chance anyway. Just sleep 8 hours a day. I don't know. I don't mean to put down sleep, but I don't like anybody telling me what there's no formula for life. There just isn't. It's too alive to be controlled. Too alive. And even if you can sleep for 20 minutes a night with that, well, of course you need time to prepare for that 20 minutes. You're in a great space. You're in a great space. Yeah. I hate these people that tell me anything. Now, if I were to say the truth, my strength is I don't listen to anyone, and my weakness is I don't listen to anyone. So somewhere you need coaches, you need friends, but the best coach is the guy that says, it's up to you now. Not it's up to me now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's fascinating. I love it. I don't listen to anybody, but I'm learning now finally to pay attention to somebody else, because everybody has something to say. It's just that most people demand you listen. your parents demand you listen to them. They demand you do whatever they say, you know, and you have to look all the way through their existence to find out they're just coming from fear. If my parents came from existence and had some advice for me, I'd be very happy to hear it. But most of them are coming from, I'm so afraid you won't be able to take care of yourself. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Are we crazy? Is any of this making sense?
Yeah, for me it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think.
Yeah, I think for the 4 people that watch this podcast, because most alive people don't have time for a podcast.
Yeah, but
you know, we have to. My job is to come to Bulgaria and scream meditation. I'm leaving tomorrow. If somebody heard it, that is great. I don't expect a letter or a thank you note, but I'm not here to say to society, you're doing a great job. I'm not here to go to church and say thank you for telling me who God is. You know, once I meditate and I know who God is, I love to go to church just to relax, you know, let people sing to me nice songs and stuff. But I don't go to find out anything, I go to relax.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. Everything that, I almost can't believe that we're still alive with the amount of unconsciousness in the world. For example, when you say the United States and Russia,
yeah,
you're already at war. The war has
Yeah.
already started. If you can say America and Russia are part of planet Earth, that there's no, what we call in meditation, there's no lines in the sand. We're one Earth appearing as the United States and Russia, then we have a chance. But all these politicians want us to think we're in competition.
Yeah.
You know, that the United States thinks Russia is insane. Russia thinks America is insane. And the truth of the matter is that 2 wrongs never make a right. Never make a right. As soon as you divide men and women, there's a fight. As soon as you divide right and wrong, there's a fight. You know, Bulgaria and America, there's a fight. We need to get back into oneness. And then there's still a fight, by the way, but it's
different.
It's a more beautiful fight.
Yeah.
You know.
The Tantra and the path of Tantra, I don't know the whole path because I'm too young, but
it's not true, by the way. No, it's not true. You know, basically what I was saying before is you drop from the mind into the heart, into the belly, and then we need energy. And that energy is sexual. Because in order to come back up, takes some heat.
yeah,
To fall down, not much. To rise up, some heat is needed.
Yeah.
So you rise back up. So for me, Tantra is that sexy energy
yeah,
that helps you rise up. And once it rises all the way to here, then you can make love or you can practice being alone. In other words, there's no difference between you being married to a woman
yeah,
and you being alone. The difference is when you did the wrong thing. When you chose to be alone, but you would have rather have been with a woman. When you're with a woman and you would have been better for you to choose to be alone. So for me, love includes both. I meet a woman when she said, "Oh, you need some days off?" That's great, you know. And unfortunately, there's such a thing as codependency. As soon as you meet a woman, there's some demands, you know. And but basically, when I meet a woman, what I want to do is, I love being with a woman who allows me to be alone, so that when we do get together, we celebrate.
yeah,
You know, space. It's not just love; it's space. Love without space is codependency.
yeah,
Space without love is even worse because you get so lonely you can't stand it. So it's just a game, and it's never easy. I don't know why it's not easy. It's never easy until it's easy. Then when it's easy, you just start laughing at yourself. But that can't be taught. That can't be taught.
I want to ask you how, or is it possible to, I don't know, Tantra learn us men how to serve to woman, how to be connected with woman, with ourselves.
Yeah.
For me, it's a very magic when I do some Tantra practice with my beloved, but I don't know, maybe not only me, maybe it's for everyone.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that women came up with the idea of Tantra. I'm not so sure men created it, Yeah. And what a woman is saying really is slow down and enjoy, and merge, because just women need love, and we do too, but we're the ones in a rush, we're the ones with so little time, So for me, Tantra really depends that I love that woman enough to honor her and to slow down and to be with her. But I don't give Tantra as much credit as Tantricans give it. You know what I mean? Sometimes people into Tantra are just avoiding tension. So for me, it's a marriage of the male and the female, and then sometimes as a man, you want the woman to get up and do something, and sometimes for the woman, she wants to stop doing and make love. So you have to look. See, for me, it's only about abundance. I don't give a shit about Tantra. I don't even give a shit about meditation. I give a shit about abundance. And when you bump into abundance, you do find that you want to spend more time with a woman. Yeah. And so you have to put in, as a man, we have to put in the effort to move into a place of effortless effort. So for a man, that would be Tantra. You've done your homework, you've been total, and now you can just die. And if that woman wants to die in your arms, it's beautiful. But it requires magic. There's no such thing as Tantra without magic, and there's no such thing as yoga without magic, Everybody's doing these 3,000-hour yoga teacher trainings, If it's not who you are, why bother, But if it's who you are, you'll come to who you are. And the same with Tantra, you can't try to be Tantrican. You can't try to be Tantrican. But if you bump into it, there's nothing more delightful. I think that Tantra is such a beautiful experience when it comes from who you are. There's nothing better. There's nothing better. And I think a yogi would say the same thing. There's nothing better than yoga when you're just sitting. So you do all these yoga practices in order just to sit without gravity pulling you to the ground. So it's just sitting. So we do everything like this, like that, so we can be here. And Tantra is the same thing. I've been with him, I've been with her, now I want to be with myself. And that person fits. So Tantra requires two people. Yeah. In a sense. A real Tantrican is like a real yogi. They don't need anyone. But in a sense, you need to love that person enough to stop. And I think that the demand shouldn't be, again, for years at a time, 10, 20 minutes, an hour a day. Even the world said the weekend, don't work on the weekend. So for me, Tantra would be, don't make love when you're not working. You know, it can't be 7 days a week. It's just not real.
Yeah.
Now, you happen to have a beloved that's her life, so then it becomes bigger than the weekend because it's actually her job too. So then you have to say to her, you know, it's not my job, but I'm free Sunday afternoons. You know, I can't be doing this all the time. You know, so it's a question of, again, tension leads to relaxation. You've participated in life, and now you can relax. But don't fall for it. It may not be you.
Yeah.
I think it is you because I find you have a very loving heart. You're crazy about women. You're going to have to make an adjustment. If you're crazy about women, you're going to have to also listen to them.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. It's, you know, of course, being my age, I've been with women. I've never, to be honest, and I love women and I love making love, but I don't remember very many times when the woman said, that's enough, you know. I'm just talking about me now.
Yeah.
I have been able to relax in their arms and take a nap, but the way that a woman is built, she can receive so much.
Yeah.
And the way a man is built, he can only give so much. So it's unequal. It's unequal. And that unequal thing has to be addressed and has to be accepted, you know. Yeah, it's never going to be easy. That's the name of this talk. It's never going to be easy.
Yeah.
You know, it just isn't. And it's worth it. That's the cosmic joke. It's worth it, and it's never going to be easy. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's such a great, great game we're playing. Great. Good. Good.
And do you have some last word for those guys who's watching? Something.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if I have any last words because I feel like I said it all. Just be total and relax.
Yeah.
Give it your best shot and let go. And just know that you can't let go without giving it your best shot. That's all there is to it. Effort leads to relaxation.
Yeah.
Effort without relaxation, terrible. Relaxation without effort, terrible. There's a game. We're playing a game. Live, 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 and die. Dying for me is relaxation. Enough for today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's more than enough.
Yeah, great.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you, guys.
Радвам се, че бяхме заедно и в този пореден епизод на подкаста по мъжки. Ако ви харесват темите, за които си говорим, не се колебайте да се абонирате и да оставите вашите коментари отдолу. Благодаря ви и до нови срещи!